In class, continuing on, we're going to talk about combustion reactions, predicting products for them. Okay, these are a little bit different. They're actually really easy to predict, but you just have to recognize them. So what I want you to notice is when you have a hydrocarbon, which is carbon and hydrogen, and that X and Y could be any number, that reacts with O2, it's always going to produce carbon dioxide and water. Always, always, always. Okay, so you have a CH compound reacting with O2. It's going to make carbon dioxide and water. So that's the easy part, is predicting it. The hard part is going to be balancing. Well, let's get started. So I've got CO2 plus H2O, carbon dioxide and water. All right. We know it's always going to make that. It's a matter of balancing at this point. And I would always balance in this order, C, H, and then O. And don't even worry about oxygen until it's the very last step. Now there's a trick up here. If you want to, you can start by multiplying by 2, multiplying your hydrocarbon by 2, and then balance from there. If you do that, you have to divide by 2. You simplify if all of the coefficients are divisible by 2. That's one trick. I'm going to show you the way that I normally think about doing it, but you can try that trick if it sounds like it would maybe be easier for you. All right, so I've got 3 carbons. I'm going to put a 3 right here to try to balance my carbons. We'll figure out how many oxygen that is later. Let's look at hydrogen. I've got 8 hydrogen. Over on the other side, I would have to put a 4 to multiply by 2 to make 8. Now we want to do a little bit of math with our oxygen. So I have 3 times 2, that gives me 6 oxygen. And I've got oxygen over here too, so I need to add those together. 6 plus 4 times 1 is 4. 6 plus 4 equals 10. So I have 10 oxygen. Looking at the reactant side, there's only one place you see oxygen, and it's right here. So what could I multiply 2 by in order to get 10? I would have to multiply by 5. Let me do that again. Multiply by 5. So if you check, everything should be balanced now. I've got 3 carbon, 3 carbon. I've got 8 hydrogen, and on the other side I've got 8 hydrogen. And the oxygen was the tricky one. 5 times 2 is 10. And over on the other side I've got 6 plus 4, which gives me 10. It's balanced now. Next one's a little bit more tricky, so let's set up and do that. Again, it's CHO, so our products are going to be carbon dioxide and water. Tricky part, sometimes at least, is balancing. So I see that I've got 3 carbon. I'm going to put a 3 right here. Balances the carbon. I've got 6 hydrogen, so let's go over here and multiply that by 3. That gives us 6 hydrogen. Now we want to take care of our oxygens. All right, I have 3 times 2 is 6 oxygen here. I'm going to add 3 oxygen there. I end up with 9 oxygen. Here's the problem. I've got an even number on the left and an odd number on the right. When you see that, when you have an even number of oxygen on the left and an odd number of oxygen on the right, that's a red flag. You need to remember this is when we're going to use the trick. Okay? If you see that, use the trick that we have up here. Put a 2 in front of the CH compound. So we're going to double this and go from there. Let's see what happens. 2 times 3 is 6. So instead of putting a 6 right here, I'm going to change that and make it, instead of it being a 3, I'm going to make it a 6. This, 2 times 6 is 12 for hydrogen. Well, I need to change the number for hydrogen on the right side, on the product side. 6 times 2 would give me 12. That changes these numbers too. All right? So 6 times 2 is 12 oxygen plus 6 oxygen equals, what's 12 plus 6? Well, that would be 18. Now, what could I multiply by 2 to get 18? It's a 9. So that's the way that I normally think about these problems. It makes it a little easier to balance.